testing and assurance around whether it fits and what it resolves that we were struggling with.
Yeah, we've reached a delivery stage in terms of some sort of strategy, but we couldn't demonstrate how we really got there.
Absolutely.
And how that links in with the vision and how we're doing that now.
And
what
that
we're
middle
not doing.
step, Andy, as well, we'd sort of skipped, haven't we?
Yeah.
We sort of defined what the problems were and we've gone straight to solution mode, really, I think. At least in the presentation there.
Agree?
We're going to sit around.
Rolling here.
Just giving you one example, because I like the one you did earlier, just to stimulate the thought. Got here. Be able to take over a TOC in distress, e.g. East Coast. That way, you get yourself in the head of a TOC, because you are a TOC for a time. And that way, because one of our strengths is we've now got increased confidence of ORR, we now might be permitted to even take that bold step. I know it's a bit...
Why have you put it in the weakness opportunities, not
Well,
strengths?
the weakness is that we don't understand our stakeholders, so we need to think like a TOC. It could equally go, it's a weakness and an opportunity.
Yeah.
Well, you might disagree with the home, but that's what I'm just using as an example of it. I don't know.
Okay.
Is that fit with the logic of what we're trying to do?
Well, that's quite good.
Yeah.
Can we just clarify our process here? Are we brainstorming solutions to that piece of work now, that grid? Or are we...
No, I'm just using one more example. I like the harmonisation of the terms and at the same time create a workforce. We all thought that was a good example. Just testing it before I do too many of these.
Oh, I see. Right, okay. And now we're going to proceed with...
A whole variety of others.
Okay.
And some of them we'll throw away. Perhaps that one.
Right, okay.
I'm not sure how this works.
It's sort of, the process is meant to help us with our sort of like strategy formulation. I think that's how Maureen presented it.
So, that's going to be creating the analysis, opportunity and a weakness.
What we need to do yeah, that's what I'm...
No background.
Yeah, that's what I'm just saying, we need to link back there. So, okay.
I'll pull that one down.
of time, Andy? We
10 minutes.
where should we aim for?
Well, like I said, it's turning some of the threats into opportunities if we can, i.e. take control.
So, I don't feel anything that's in here. We'll tend to have anyway.
Strength and opportunity. Yeah. Well, that's the easier area to focus, isn't it? It's the lower hanging fruit. Possibly needs something less far-reaching and stretching to deliver.
So is it taking our strengths and dealing with some other threats? Or using the opportunities to pull upon weaknesses?
Yeah, I think certainly being prepared for the perceived threats needs to be an area of focus.
What were the 6 things we had yesterday? What were the 6? We proposed 6 strategies yesterday.
We did, yeah, it's just, that's what I said earlier, the point at which we refer back
Have we
to
got
those, I think is sort of
Yeah,
now.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
that's
just
all.
Just whether we had a process that linked them all or not.
That's what
They were brainstormed.
Yeah.
No, I think there was a lot of value in what we got there yesterday.
Mm.
It was, but a lot of it was intuitive and more than formed out process, so. So,
right at the beginning.
Yeah, I'm still not clear
What have I got?
that that's an opportunity for us.
If the trade-off is by creating harmonised conditions, you get them to agree to be more flexible,
Yeah.
then you've now, as a step, created a flexible workforce, which is one of our misgivings.
Yeah, but what we're doing now, what's already happening is the maintenance restructure, talking maintenance now. And that in itself is going to give us, if it goes through, the flexibility or
It's not.
an increased level of flexibility.
It's an incremental step. What I'm saying is, well,
Will that deal with scenarios one and
huge step change, throw the lot away.
Harmonisation doesn't necessarily save you anything or give you any more flexibility.
I think
it means
I
that
think what went up there was not harmonisation, throw the lot away, start again. Now I know it's a bit of a blue
Yeah,
sky
but
thing,
we've
but
paraphrased it here as harmonisation. To me, harmonisation of
I-
T's and C's is getting everybody off the XA and
that was what the opportunity, but it then translated through to a bit more of a bold.
I mean, I'm not saying we shouldn't do that. I think that's, from a one company, one way perspective, that's the right thing to do.
What do you actually get from it?
But what do you get from it?
Because
I would argue the maintenance restructure currently is going to give us more of what we want.
Well, helps in customer services, you get a natural stepping stone, because you've got your front-end staff that are on non-salaried contracts. And there's some bloody good people out there that won't take that step because they're going onto a clean salary. So you're stifling your potential in terms of natural progression. And then
Don't confuse what you might be seen as an incremental step that you're soon to achieve with something that might be a little bit bolder and then
So
impossible.
you're saying it's constraining on the flexibility of the workforce because you've got some great people there, but they see themselves as having to take a pay cut and probably work lots of additional hours for no
that's
pay.
just one example. Then you've got your natural Balfours, AMEG, Jarvis, terms and conditions, grant and all them.
Does that affect the
Being
way that you do
harmonised.
work and your programme work and you give overtime, etc.? And then does that take more of the management time in planning it around sort of the complexities of staff, because as well as
But the
flexibilities,
flexibility,
they've got all different pay levels
the
and
flexibility around rosters, which is our ability to put people where the work is being dealt with in the maintenance restructure.
right.
So we're picking elements of the contracts,
Yeah.
and negotiating those.
So-
attempting to.
So that's been dealt with.
So as Ian pointed out yesterday, that some of these
So
things
it's,
are
so it's,
being
sort
dealt
of
with.
it's work in progress, and all I'm saying is, in terms of a strategy,
Yeah.
maybe we've got the wrong words here. Maybe I'm missing something. But harmonising, and
That's how it came out of the initial
But-
brainstorm,
I mean,
but
that-
actually it's now been translated
But that's
as
got all sorts of benefits going forward. Culturally, it's got benefits in terms of having one payroll system, one way of paying people, there's all sorts of benefits there. It's just to push back and challenge and say, is that what I'm talking about today?
we might not.
Has anybody dealt with that today? Has anybody put anything on that?
The very first one.
Yeah, I think 12, I think we agreed link 12 with 23, which is in flexible workforce due to organisation unions.
What did you put that?
And contracts, start again.
Okay.
Cost.
So we probably need to, as a group, consider using this tool. Have we? Thanks. Have we come up? Has it helped us get to a level of idea and strategy that we didn't quite get to yesterday? Has it helped us sort of push us on? And what have we got?
So, do you mean a review of process?
Well, I'm just wondering what we've got out of that brainstorm. We need to sort of like,
Ditch some of those nonsense.
well, we need to consider it as a group, don't we?
Yeah.
Is it worth us doing an early test against what we got yesterday?
Yeah.
Well, we've got the idea generation, we've done the post notes on the wall, and now it's selection and prioritisation.
Correct.
So this is another.
Which ones now survive the call?
Yeah.
You mean Justin was asking what strategies
Oh,
did we
fire the
actually,
laptop up.
do we actually get yesterday?
And how many people made it on that one?
I'm just keen not to lose it. I
No,
mean, in terms of your...
you're building it on.
Yeah.
You know.
I wonder if it's now time to bring that in. I was asking the question earlier. But if you're referring to testing...
But it does make the question that if it ain't made its way into there, why not?
Yeah.
We had it yesterday and we haven't yet captured it. Why has it not made its way through?
Well, today we've
Because it isn't sort of like intuitive, but
Today we've started again. Well, we haven't started again in terms of identifying the key issues in the scenarios, but everything else we started again.
Yeah.
With a more structured process.
Exactly.
It's been more inclusive. Yeah, everybody's had a fairer say. Yesterday was a little bit.
Right. But while I'm firing up, do we need to do the call with those?
well, I think as a group we need to sort of understand what we've got here, don't we? So should we just talk through sort of like
Michael,
each of the boxes?
well, if we're doing that, Andy don't want to be firing his laptop up.
No, we can always be listening.
Because we had that yesterday where you were excluded. Not
You were
intentionally.
taking out the game yesterday.
Not intentionally, because you were.
It wasn't tactical.
That's why
You put it all together. Yeah.
Sending.
Is that why we're walking in?
Oh, I see. So while he's setting that up, we'll crack on, shall we?
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Right, I'm here.
I sort of can bring this down as well to start getting the strategies on.
Right, so we've done, this now is selection and prioritisation.
Yeah.
And then we move on to the rehearsal in terms of,
I mean,
does it align with the vision? Are they robust in terms of the two scenarios? And are we reacting to some of the stakeholders that went into the vision?
That's what we're after, yeah.
just before we do that, have we allowed enough time? We're slightly ahead of time. Have we allowed enough time for preparing the presentation? Yesterday we probably took about 15 minutes. Ultimately, it was rushed.
Well, yesterday we just copied off the wall.
Yeah.
But there's nothing
Well, I
else.
think we all felt it was rushed.
We haven't got any time for iterating it, have we?
No, so I think we.
Let's bag this time now.
By 10:45, we should be starting to put the finished product together and iterating and testing that. Yeah.
Yeah, as long as we're not going to
Because I think the strategy behind the words and the delivery of that and ensuring we capture the essence and thoughts that maybe don't appear in words on the screen is something we have watched yesterday.
But we haven't got any strategies yet.
No.
We have, we just haven't sort of.
We've got two
Well,
put them through the sort of selection.
Haven't selected and polished.
We've not got any agreed strategies. But no, intuitively, it felt like yesterday's was a little bit more agreed, if you like.
Right, I'm going to
We've
select
had the discussion, haven't we? What we've done here,
prioritisation selection.
what we've lost here with this process is we've had a little bit more thinking in isolation.
Yes.
We've sat down in the quiet, we've thought, and we've put them on the board.
We now need.
And now we've got to convince each other and agree.
Yeah.
Whereas yesterday we had the value of the discussion,
The power of choice, it was a case of sign on our
but
side.
we had a little bit more understanding of what the strategy was. So
I think what we also have to consider is if we reach a stage but we've not reached a full conclusion, provided we can demonstrate we follow the process.
no, we didn't output that, did we?
We're going to be at different stages on that getting to the output, aren't we?
Can I just start with one and then you
Let's get going.
and almost you decide whether that's the right way to do it. And I'll be an advocate for this one that I mentioned at the beginning, and I'll explain why it fits in with that, and I hope you might stand up against that. Being able to take it at the top, at the moment all we do is running on infrastructure, yeah? We're constantly criticised, we're not inside the head of the talk, we don't have a good talk relationship, we don't get empathy with talks and what sort of pressure points do they feel. We've had East Coast hand the keys back, which gives our other stakeholder, DFT, a bit of a headache, because they're now going to take over the shop. We're expecting that. It's not inconceivable that we might have more talks in distress, because they feel the pain of the recession immediately. If we put Network Rail in a position where it's able to help the DFT
by being that emergency TOC. You have the TOC skills embedded in Network Rail, so you almost have part of the organisation who behaves like a virtual TOC.
It would support us being a learning organisation, wouldn't it?
Yeah. No, we would never been able to harbour these thoughts early on because the ORR would have said none at all. Now we've earned a few brownie points with the ORR, so we might stand a chance of lobbying to get a mandate to do TOC activities, albeit heavily regulated, heavily constrained. Now it's going to put the other stakeholders in a nervous position because
How could, if we took on East Coast,
yeah.
how committed would we be to making that work? Very committed, I would say.
There's money to be made.
Yeah, we're very committed. What would Virgin have to say about that? Yeah. What would the other TOCs have to say? That we were focusing on all our efforts as an organisation,
Of course,
making our own.
that's the challenge, isn't it?
So
But the same, we've got the portfolios, be it taking over major stations or taking over new stations. So there's something there that says we can get as close to the customer as the train operators. It's just a different asset.
And it might not be for, I'm not necessarily saying it's forever, it's just to sort out this immediate hiatus which might go on for a few years until it's ready to be refranchised.
I think it's worth
Can I just build on that? Because one of my strategies was to find a sympathetic TOC to introduce new technology. Lesson learned from Cambrian was we picked a TOC that didn't give a shit about what we were doing. So if we are that sympathetic TOC, hey, and guess what? East Coast Main Line is due for ETCS application 2018 to 2023. Then we start to get an alignment of.
And just to maybe a more positive alternative is to alliance with Virgin or another viable TOC and to say we're running together for the duration of the distress.
Yeah.
And then we bail out, and it's now a seamless transition.
So it's not a handing back of the.
No, maybe.
This is not a handing back of the keys. This is a we'll join forces to operate.
Well, you could have joined forces with National Express,
Yeah,
or maybe National Express on the keys back. We want to take over an emergency. Virgin a bit nervous. Come and join us. We're running together. How close is that?
Discuss 5 minutes on
Okay,
what's in one.
right. That's just an example.
Good example. Are we agreed we're going to mark that? And the ones with the most marks taken forward.
Well, there's probably
Yeah, I
some,
think
there's
we
probably
need to
some common, there's
understand
probably some
what-
common themes.
Just want to be an advocate for another one.
There's probably some common themes in there because that was sort of in there as well with sort of flexibility of our staff and being multi-skilled. I think that's a great idea, but in terms of the could change the culture quite a bit.
Do you know what? I'm going to try and knock it down now. That's probably a long way away rather than the strategy for 2012, which is just 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, how many strategic things, are we able to influence between now and 2012? I think that
A lot of things were given off.
got to keep.
That's the
I've
problem.
got to keep it.
Keep it to a small group.
Why is it a long
Big
way
players.
away? Why is it a long way away?
Why is what?
Taking over the top.
Well, it could be an immediate problem.
Well, since how long did it take the DFE to take over each
Yeah,
place?
quite. Yeah, fine, fair point.
What happens the next 3 months
It lives again.
when FCC goes bust? What we're saying is, we're sitting now in 2012, 2010, we've got these strengths and weaknesses of how we live,
Yeah.
and we're projecting in 2012, those scenarios might happen.
Yeah.
So if as a result of those scenarios happening, what we're going to do?
What's our
Take
state?
over the top.
What's
So
our
let's start thinking now. We're not saying we're going to take over the
That's our
top.
state of readiness, I accept.
Yeah.
It's my idea.
Well, it was a good one.
Right, who's, are we going to vote on that then? Does it go forward?
Well, no, do you want to do a few others? Because it might be weak compared to some of the other ones.
I think we need to do a few more. In
Well,
terms
we're
of
limited on, what's the limit on number of strategic
I think we've got
ideas we take forward?
3 or 4.
Yeah, I think so. We'll make them complete, is the point.
Okay.
a consultancy, and we've got all this sort of polling activities sort of ahead of us, we'd be desperately wanting to increase our sort of client base.
Right.
And that's why I sort of put that up there, while now I don't know whether that is achievable within the law and within our sort of the way that the company is regulated.
No, you would need some changes. But the benefit is we've got more brownie points with the ORR than what I
Well,
do, so then
that's what I'm thinking. There's never going to be a better time.
we're constrained from being a top, for instance, so now is the best time to get that.
So it was getting a foothold in Europe, and again I was sort of thinking, that would sort of like broaden our base, and if we're going to suffer a period of stagnation or stability here, then we can use resource over there with local resource, and there's going to be some great learning opportunities for sort of like technology, cost baselining, culture, innovation, sort of ideas. I think BR did some stuff years ago with someone in Spain or Portugal and Transmark, and we've been out to Japan before, haven't we? But we've never actually.
But rather than
We've
we've
never
never
actually-
look and see, you're actually doing it. So what we're doing
running something, possibly coming back to Stuart's point with the top, possibly in alliance.
Yeah.
In a joint
There's a few
venture
things
type.
on alliance there.
Can I just ask you, sorry, on the two questions. How does that fit with the vision? Because our vision is all about running UK railways.
Yeah.
And where does it align? Thinking yesterday comment about traceability back.
Yeah.
I can see the strength maybe in that we're confident in what we're doing, but where does it align to these? I'm not poo-pooing it as an idea,
No.
but is it
You
is
test
it right,
it, you
is
test
it the
it.
right idea for where we are right now?
You're testing it, and in,
It's a risk mitigation strategy as much as anything, isn't it?
well, it's risk mitigation, but it's also continuing to promote us as a learning organisation, and we're actually
back.
we're actually we sort of we're checking out stuff. We're getting to the truth on stuff as to understanding our cost base.
One of the biggest criticisms we had of the ORR's determination is that we weren't comparing apples with apples. Don't compare the British railway and the UK railway with French railway.
I'm just thinking.
If we're in control of a little bit of that data, then we can start to say we know better than you.
Just thinking about innovation and culture. There's going to be some really good stuff. In Europe that we need to get in with. Don't think it's a big hitter for the vision though.
No,
one of these sort of underpinning type.
I'm with
type
Paul in
activities.
that I see that as being a bit of a diversion away from
Okay.
core business.
It's possibly similar. I would probably rank it similar to this actually. That I don't see it as a the main part of any overall strategy.
Just coming back to Stuart's example here, that sort of, to me, aligns with this and offsets some of the risk associated with the scenarios. Yeah, so okay, it feels a little bit out there, but it's within scope of. Yeah. So I think by looking at the European example, that has made, I won't say your originally quite wacky idea, but what seemed like a little bit far out there.
Yes,
So-
yes,
so-
yeah,
I seem
This-
very.
At least it's on this turf.
Yeah.
yeah,
Right,
yeah.
just to
Yeah.
move forward then. We raised it yesterday, it's back on here again. Transform to atomic structure, business units, combined efficiencies, capex delivery review.
Yeah, we had it yesterday. You're right. What did we?
I said
I
it
think
was
we-
a week, I said it against the strength. It doesn't matter, it's the same thing.
It was down as a sort of there's an opportunity there,
But
but
it's decentralising this, isn't it?
yeah, so that's why it was and it just seemed to be a natural progression. I remember as we were getting into functional reorg, we said that we need to do this to command and control, but ultimately we anticipate going back
That's sort of
To-
reverse
to-
evolution,
to-
and now
to-
2 years to go forward. Yeah.
to once we've got that stability and that one way, we then need to go back.
I think that will help us with performance, it'll help us with alignment with the TOCs, and the TOCs will be able to get a little bit closer to us as an organisation rather than having an interface and a window to the rest of the organisation. Certainly, in my part of the world, TOCs have a desire to understand and interface a little bit closer with the people that
I mean, does
have an effect on their ability to run trains,
And I
which is
think-
maintenance, yeah.
I think it links into this as well, develop multiple skills, professional workforce. A brief example, take your gospel law, right? Imagine that's the end of the station. What's more powerful, what's more multi-skilled than the member of the platform staff being empowered to examine a bridge that's been struck instead of responding 30 miles away?
Yeah.
You've got that skill on there. Don't have the Network Rail corporate badge on, but it has a different badge, but it's getting the railway running, restored. It's just, right? That fits in with stakeholders, it fits in with value for money, fits in with safety.
That's two then. We're meant to work them a little bit. God, this thing's fun.
So somebody put something earlier about about new technology and outsourcing, step for 7-day. So we've got a couple of things on 7-day railway that are in witnesses and threats. Anybody want to elaborate on those?
So again, Andy.
We've got a couple of things in
Yeah.
witnesses and threats about
Well,
7-day railways.
This is springing off the debate that we were having earlier, certainly Paul and I. This is around us taking more control. I don't know, it feels at the moment like 7-day railway is something that's being done to us. It's something that we've given a commitment to. It's something that TOPs are expecting. And if we feel the squeeze to an extent where we can't deliver what we want to deliver, so it's around raising our game on that and taking control. You know, leading the change. New technology, build on the back of what we're currently doing with the restructuring, working patterns, etc., and control the pace of change and communicate on that. Yeah, because at the moment I think the TOPs just see us as sort of putting their head in the sand a little bit. And, yeah, so we got to raise the profile.
I don't think we've got
So-
we haven't got the penetration with that initiative, have we?
Is-
Into
no.
business.
Is it a transformation programme on 7-day railway? Is there anything
It's a
more?
bit like world class policy,
Well-
I see it. It's sort of like we're missing.
No. Is there one or not? Coming up? I don't think there is.
No. I don't think it sits under that.
No. So we need one then. Which is what this.
It does sit under. It meets our stakeholders' requirements, doesn't it?
You know, we've got to be seen to be interested.
And it meets our promise, doesn't
Yeah.
it, to deliver the timetable by putting people on trains.
Yeah. More trains, more people. But this is about us taking control, as opposed to saying we just cannot work in a 3-hour possession as we've conceded we've had to close down.
And why are we doing it?
Yeah.
Why are we doing it?
Why are we doing it?
Well, we're doing it. We said we're doing it now. So why?
To deliver the timetable.
For this scenario, why are we doing it?
To offer more flexibility to TOCs and customers. To run more trains. To be the transport mode of choice.
But no, that's what I'm asking. Is we,
Yeah.
Well, we're putting it to test now, aren't we?
what do those two scenarios cause us to want to do 7-day railway different? I know we're saying it's part of this. We are out. That's a new question. We said we're going to do it.
We say we're not really doing it.
No,
We're
Couch is never gonna do it,
we're
right?
over promising. We're not delivering the promise.
we're under delivering.
I think there's a
We're
reputation.
over promising.
So is our strategy now to manage expectations, or is our strategy now to find some way to deliver that promise?
No, I think we're saying we want to deliver it.
Right.
So, I mean, I've written down here, my own personal view is we need to get a specific transformation programme on it, get a director focused on it.
We are dabbling at it.
Yeah, exactly.
We're dabbling, it's on the periphery, we've not got...
It's been delegated out to all the routes.
Yeah,
and
there's
everyone's doing other
nominated,
things.
there's nominated champions for 7-day railway, which are inappropriate. I mean, our own local 7-day railway champion is not best placed to be the champion. He's just picked the Bible. Yeah.
I feel we need to take something out of this box. Like, these may or may not be the right things, but if this is opportunities and these are our strengths, then it seems that we need to sort of like launch something out of a strategy out there. Don't think.
Ah, excellent.
So, what was that?
What I've said here, one of the things I see with the transformation programme on control is it's trying to be all things to all men. We've seen there, we've got a 20% increase in freight. Personal experience has just told me that Hartford Loop, they've got Hartford Loop, trivial bit of railway, they've got 18 freight paths allocated to them that we can't encroach on. They run 2 trains a day. We have to do that because everything's so unplanned. If we, and it must be the same all over the country, so if we can plan and work with the Fox,
Which is what we said yesterday, isn't it?
and get better tools, then we can minimise those number of paths, but guarantee delivery in them.
And it needs a bit of candour in
Why is
there.
it so unplanned, Andy?
It's the inflexibility of their business. Any freight, that's why we still have VSTP, which is they can bid for a path 2 minutes out.
But if we've got more capacity, because we're not doing engineering work at night, we're not doing X, we're not doing Y, we're not doing Z, and sending a railway, it's not just about stopping people falling off buses because they've got the concessions and a weekend.
They won't be actually running their business on an ad hoc basis, will they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
They do.
But they don't know. I mean, very quickly, they have 16 paths overnight that prevents any white space maintenance work on nights over the Hartford branch. It's all congested to a weekend. But they could run in any one of 16 or 18 paths during a specific period. And it's only on the day will they say, right, it's going to run at 3:25 in the morning or it's going to run at 4 o'clock.
But you'd be asking why, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah.
Is it not a reality that a lot of these Fox don't give up these
And
Because-
we've probably always done
because
that.
they don't want their competitors? So
No, it's not, no, they just don't, they don't trust us. To
is
give,
it
to
are
give
we
them
the
the
problem, or is it a little bit of protectionism as well?
It's both, but
What's the opportunity
That's
for them
what's-
to give up? Why would they give up?
Yes.
What's paths? What's the incentive for that? Is there?
Well, I think this is
Why
where it comes down to
create-
trust.
That's what I'm saying. So, because this is a little bit negative by saying, screw the Fox, we're going to reduce your paths and give us a bit.
no,
more
it's not,
flexibility.
because the reason behind this yesterday was we've got to find 10% extra for the passenger paths.
Yeah. So why don't we create incentives? Yeah. To the Fox. Yeah.
Okay.
To release flexibility to allow us. Yeah. To give that that flexibility to the Tops. Yeah. It was about transferring flexibility as opposed to reducing freight paths.
I've got very little knowledge of
It's the same thing, it's the same
I'm
output.
just thinking about
Yeah,
sort
yeah,
of like
it is,
coal
yeah.
to power stations.
Presumably with the coal standard
Fox,
paths,
to
just
release
really
flexibility.
rocking on with a lot more coal.
I
And
guess it's like supermarkets where they keep minimum
It's capacity and flexibility
Minimum
that
stock.
they're giving.
on site.
But a lot of these
So-
paths are
So it
containers.
could be weather.
These are 9/8 containers that are route availability
Yeah.
or route restriction. So, you know, there's different things that we could be doing on alternate routes to increase the
Yes.
Road clearance, state clearance.
So that is the future, isn't it? I'm told it's absolutely booming. Everything's coming in containers now.
Yep.
And it's, well, how does that sort of work in terms of probably into detail, but ships.
is this what we're going to survive with?
Ships in ports
Do you feel?
and
Well, we've not got a lot of time, have we?
I was going to say, if we don't go with this, then we're wasting our time debating
Right,
to anything.
we need to start testing against.
Are there any more that we want to move over?
We've got 4.
Are we going to live with those 4?
Yeah.
What have we missed then? What have we missed?
Nothing about the environment in here.
Well, I'm confident that what we're doing already with the environment.
So I mean, one of the things that picked, electrification of the Great Western Main Line's a given, we're doing it.
Yeah.
We want to accelerate it, well, that's a data, it's not strategy.
People already regard the rail as an environmental issue, so what can we do to convince
do we
them
want to
more?
qualify that? Do we want to give a slide on that?
Not fair.
I think that's fair, yeah. And the fact that
We could be a
scenario
little-
1 and 2 is all about fuel, you know, where doing the electrification portion, there's
Put it on here.
stuff in there about.
We could be more vocal, and we could more people be vocal on our behalf, actually, saying, no, it's a green issue.
I think, Tony, to pick up your point, we're going to highlight key issues within the scenarios that are either currently being dealt with the existing strategy, or we're going to take forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll have to sort of flash those if it's sort of green or red. Is there anything we missed here? Though? The problem with any sort of funneling system is we sort of things keep dropping out. And
Yeah, I feel as though we've got sort of two fairly sort of like primary strategies.
Is there anything you wrote on that board that you want on there, Tony? Yes or no? same for everyone. Does anyone think that something's missing?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Go for it.
I think something about our people is.
Have we got people under there?
That's the way we sort of like organise them. I think about
Yeah,
the
that's
way,
really,
think
that's
about
really
the way
hand off
we
to-
sort of like develop them.
Well, that's just developed.
Is that, well,
Oh, right, okay.
I thought, is this yours, Tony?
Yeah.
I thought we'd sort of like captured that with the atomic
I
structure.
think
So-
we have. Okay.
But that was the example of,
Possibly we have, yeah.
you know,
He just basically gets picked up in the narrative.
Yeah, Paul's got it there.
Develop staff and skill base, which is, yeah.
I think the theme was, if someone's got a competence, doesn't matter if that competence has got a East Coast badge on or a Network Rail badge on, it's having the right person in the right place.
Or a York badge or a Manchester badge or
Can
whatever.
I just
We're
say something?
10 minutes behind now.
Can I just suggest something about the actual presentation? That the one who feels more strongly about one of them does the talking to it. So someone do the atomic structure and then somebody else do the incentive on the Fox. Yeah?
Okay.
Rather than one person.
Can we test?
Well,
I don't know what we're doing.
we
Yeah.
are.
Piece of paper.
No, no,
We test against the vision. We test.
testing against the vision.
Well, we've
Okay,
got,
let's do that first.
Right.
Let's just do.
I'll put a V if it meets the vision.
Yeah.
Good idea.
That I take over collaborate with the talking trouble. To. Why are we doing it?
To behave and understand and empathise with talk.
We're taking over.
To better understand our stakeholders.
It might not be taken over, it might be in the
And it might not be long term.
no.
So it's to maintain the.
Maintain
To
the-
maintain the delivery.
Continuity.
Yeah.
so one of them is
managed
customer,
transition.
right? Customers provide outstanding service, the house be responsive, flexible, innovative. I think
Right.
we've been all those.
So it meets the vision then.
Next.
Atomic structure, decentralise command and control, align with TOCs, generate efficiencies and develop staff and skill base.
Well, be
Only
more
for money.
efficient. Be more efficient. I think it ticks the box on reliability. There's less handoffs, less places for things to fall and go wrong.
7-day rally. Focus effort, raise game, control to meet TOC, take control of programme to meet TOC aspirations by introducing new technology
What new technology?
and communications. I know.
Okay.
Need a transformation programme to achieve detail line with commitments.
That to me is around ownership, focus. It's too widely, thinly distributed, and we're expecting everybody to do a little bit.
Oh, it is, at the moment it is.
Yeah, added onto their data.
Does that meet the vision?
That is around.
Yes, it does.
Absolutely. Yeah,
So the bit that Tony's scribbled in.
and it covers so many of the scenario points.
Oh, we don't do scenarios next.
Yeah, okay. I'll
Incentivise Fox to release Passal, better planning flexibility, influence acceleration.
I think that fits more the scenarios than
Question mark for vision.
it does the vision. Because that, if we get that right, then it's just a little bit of a play about it.
I think 4 sounds very interesting. I think it's sort of fundamental to get the best capacity out of your network.
Scenarios.
Possibly, you've got one big strategy and some supporting or complementary strategies.
So that's number 4.
Where's the big investment?
Well, what about strategies? Does it meet? Does this scenarios? Does this strategy meet those 2 scenarios?
So I'll go back to the 2 scenarios. If I say, so scenario 1, we've got continual growth, sluggish environment, opportunity to continue to grow,
But the,
explore economy.
Can we bring that down here?
Yeah.
Those 2, yeah.
Yeah.
Because then this will form the basis
That'll slide.
of the list. Yeah. And we've got the vision as well.
So if we squeeze these away,
And if you the camera taking time to do as well.
Sort of take these. Want to slip that underneath here? Sorry.
I don't want to fall into the Ian Simpson thing and getting the wrong way around.
part of this.
On top, slightly lower down.
He says in the pattern
It needs a tall person to do this.
That's what we can dig all over that drawer.
I'm just going to get fired up like he did yesterday to come on there. It was like the Microsoft guy, wasn't he? He was ready to go.
Yeah.
You can actually, if you downloaded that on the internet, that Microsoft.
Yeah.
It's actually called Dance Monkey Boy, if you go on there.
On YouTube.
On YouTube.
Yeah, or anyway, like, yeah, just go Dance Monkey Boy and that,
Right.
that comes on. Steve Brown.
Strategies, scenarios.
So we're going to do some number cross-referencing here. Some
I take over the talking trouble to maintain delivery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Efficiencies,
No.
not relevant to threats, and we're not going to highlight some of these as being important. That's an important one to us. Passenger numbers,
Yes, that's
growth,
very important.
yeah.
And this supports that.
Green fuel pricing piece. Commuter. And what else?
So it doesn't start to take any, does it? And
Decline of air travel, more trains. Okay.
yeah.
That's
For a boom situation, actually, if you think about it, a distress top ain't going to happen in a boom railway. It's more likely to be over here, isn't it?
I don't know whether we missed an opportunity here. Thought I was back, but
But
we haven't got a strategy.
saying that, there is a halfway house here, which is the buying and takeover or the collaboration. There's a scaling. There's do we do the things that the operators are finding cost inefficient, such as having two performance teams or you know. So remove deduplication, which is perhaps good for scenario 1. Scenario 2 is we can't run this railway.
That deals with steady state, boom, bust.
Yeah.
It's all. It's moving on to the next stage.
But an offshoot of that actually could give us the team to bid for operating and running the new lines.
It certainly deals with this one, which is the regional vertical integration. How better placed are you now, having got yourself into a top mode?
Right, we've got 5 minutes
Okay, keep going.
before we get on to the
There's
presentation.
enough talking about that particular matter.
Right, scenario 2.
Time structure.
Well, one of the main things for that is that
Efficiency.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think anything else matters.
But that's key for us, isn't it? That's the key issue.
So those at the bottom as well.
Things,
Yeah. There's an opportunity to. So any changes we're making here, all there, this course because we're reorganising the.
We'll just link that in then. We'll call that number 2 there. Yeah.
I don't know about the pensions.
Sorry.
We talked yesterday about insourcing, which caused all the debate.
Yeah.
We've not mentioned it now.
No, but what we're doing, we've pulled back from that, I think, and we are preparing ourselves for the options. Yeah.
And if insourcing is needed, it'll come out of this.
We'll be more capable and more
Yeah,
prepared to do
yeah.
it. And if it's not, we've still created some efficiency and we don't need to turn back. Yeah. So that creates options for
We
us.
could have pushed back that debate on insourcing by pointing out that it was going to be targeted, and we are continuing to bring new apprentices and other recruits into the business. So for a healthy form of business, we need turnover.
Yeah.
Right, 7-day railway.
It tends to cope with the passenger increases.
Number 3.
More trains.
Well, I think it eliminates some of these green issues because we're taking all the buses off the roads, we're replacing a fleet of coaches and
Yeah.
various modes of transport.
And it's going to use it's bound to force more efficiency because we've got no time to do any work.
We get rid of all justice. sort of getting more out of the network, aren't we?
Does it mean?
More bangs for the buck.
Scenario two?
Yeah.
7-day railway. Yeah. That one is on number 2.
Don't think
But it doesn't have to, does it?
No, I don't know.
Because this is just common sense. We would do this almost whatever scenario there is.
So, are we going to present off these sheets? Or are we going to do laptop?
I'm going to do it from here.
Because we're going to lose time putting it into laptop
Yeah.
format, despite the fact that it was a lot more polished than this sort of format.
You might just want to target this. This is the
Well, yeah,
brainstorm.
Yeah, so
Finish this.
yeah, but on sorry, but what I was going to say was on here we need to tick. If we're not doing it and putting colours on it, we need to tick the things we are strategising for
Yeah.
and make the links. Yeah. So
Well,
tick
I can
means we can
I
see.
can link that, because I'll cut and paste them and then say, right, for that, and then they'll light up in green, bold
Yeah,
green.
you've got all these, haven't you?
I've got all them.
You haven't got that, but we can.
It'll
soon
take
do
5 minutes to type that up.
that. Okay. So you want to go for the laptop?
Well, I think I can work on that.
Okay.
To be honest.
Yeah. Let's carry on.
Because, you know, we've allocated 25 minutes.
Right.
to prepare the present.
Incentives. Incentivise Fox to release bats.
Okay. What's that giving us? That's given
Does it
us.
say release? Can we say review? We're looking at this, aren't we?
Yep.
Usage and need.
So here, this is 4.
I think it's green issues. I think it's lobbying potentially for new lines. I think
More
it's-
passengers.
I think there's a deadline there, more trains.
More passengers. 7-day railways. More passengers.
So
More
increase it.
trains.
Increase.
Well, this is a key one for us.
Overall. Available paths.
These are key issues
It
for us.
strikes me that the freight side of the business is really, really volatile. Even more volatile than the passenger side.
It is. That's the nature of their business.
Yeah.
You know, you've got DBS now on the increase, Freightliner, they're in a state of decline for us 3 years ago.
We have a transformation programme looking at that, particularly plan how we deal with these very short-term
We need them to get better at what they do.
We need to work.
They're
more arrogant than us.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, they're not.
Have to be in recent meetings. Because they can.
We need their thinking to be more progressive around creating efficiencies for the railway rather than giving them more flexibility that they have a choice on. Yeah.
It's almost
commitment.
It's the working relationship planning probably developing with Virgin through crisis, isn't it? You know, it's sort of like trying to understand going out on site, discussing it, being upfront when it goes pear-shaped.
Okay. We've got a lot of focus on scenario 1. Okay, and we can draw those issues out. What are we covering on here?
Well, efficiency, this is still making us more efficient.
Well,
7-day railway is going to help us with less money because we've got that compensation to pay.
Right, we've got about 22 minutes to get this in the can.
can we just let's look at just 1, 2, 3, 4 for this list over because I'm
Yeah.
mine will work. So number 1, right? This is about us getting into bed with taking over a train operation. Keep the trains running. Strong economy. That isn't going to be an issue.
That's
Because
irrelevant.
yeah. So that's not less money.
Irrelevant.
Irrelevant. Flooding terrorism. Credit rating slip. Irrelevant. Fuel prices falling.
Only to the
It's more this, isn't it? The business case.
That could. Fuel prices falling could drive people away from trains.
which creates distress at the top, which creates
the problem.
handing back the keys.
So I think
Yeah.
that
Possibly that one.
Yeah.
Two down.
Possibly that one, and definitely that one.
Hang on, let's see which first.
Stagnation.
Possibly that one.
Yep.
And definitely that one.
We've got that for number.
That's okay.
So it's number 1 as well. Yeah. Okay.
stock exchange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Resources, staff under pressure, deal with that one.
Yeah.
So, human response to
Yeah, do that as well.
people issues. Yeah. Okay, number 3, 7-day railway.
I think it goes with that. We've got less money.
Yeah.
I think it goes with stagnation in demand.
What about here, road freight decline, are we taking the influence from that?
We've got to test against there.
On,
No, it says
Railway.
stagnation in passenger and freight.
so we're sort of linking those two together then, yeah? In terms of a scenario, yeah? But everything's on the down.
The 7-day railway is actually positive for those two, isn't it? Because by 7-day railway we're creating new capacity.
So we,
On Sunday we can sell a freight car at 3 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
Never done before.
Yeah, there might be declining in the demand,
But demand
potentially.
might change.
that's our response, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's our response.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, do you want me to start to transfer this over?
Whatever you write down, the problem last time was only you could do the
Well,
presentation,
well,
it's only you saw it.
Move it round.
We've only got 15 minutes, so yes, I think is the answer. Yeah?
As long as it's the same as we've got on here.
Let's finish this one then.
Incentivise Fox to review,
Sure, I'll plug share around for you.
better planning flexibility.
Yeah.
You just plug in.
I'm plugged in, just getting in a position whereby.
That's about us providing flexibility to the tops and farms. That's about
Then the Fox giving us flexibility. So around capacity.
to do it.
Or in Stuart. So we've got 3, we've got 4 as well, then.
Four's in there.
So,
Okay. Let Andy just do it.
how does everyone feel about this compared to yesterday?
I feel that it's been a lot more focused. We haven't lost any time on subsidiary sort of issues. It's been a lot more structured. I think we're getting sort of like better quality ideas out of it.
What, the money records?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether we've actually found that golden bullet there.
Very often it don't, don't tell me that they knew that moving maintenance in-house at the time was the golden bullet.
What
Looking
about,
back,
Found the golden bullet,
Hey!
found the golden bullet.
Yeah.
what about this though, Tony? That could be, if not the golden bullet, the catalyst to the golden
Yeah.
bullet.
It could be, but that sort of, I call that sort of like evolutionary rather than revolutionary, you know, we talked about it over a number of years.
But maintenance
Well, that
in-house,
game changer
did maintenance not
sometimes doesn't exist.
did maintenance not used to be in-house before rail track?
Yeah.
So that was